newsletters outdated? Should they be a part of your PR strategy? You're a non-profit or international organization and wondering whether newsletters are worth it. Are they read? Do they engage your target audience? Do they build the reputation of your brand? Or are they outdated? Should they be a part of your PR strategy? We're going to unpack all things newsletters today on maybepod. This is your countercultural open PR playbook brought to you by international public relations agency Maybe. I'm Katie. I'm the CEO and founder of Maybe Agency and host of maybepod. Really glad to have you tuning in. We drop an episode every week unpacking our international PR playbook, one episode at a time, to help you understand and use public relations effectively. So great to have you, and a great topic we're delving into today. Are newsletters outdated? Now, in recent years, we've had the rise of social media, digital content creation, and it's left a lot of communications and PR representatives and organizations in general wondering, do traditional PR formats like magazines and newsletters still have a place in this day and age? Or have they now become outdated? Or is there a way that we can include them in our PR strategy, particularly for nonprofits and international organizations, that's going to help us with our PR strategy? Well, spoiler alert, if we're making an episode on it, there's a good chance that I believe that newsletters are still relevant and can still be a great part of your PR strategy. And I'm going to tell you today why. And as always, here on maybepod, our approach to PR is rooted and backed up in data and research. So we have plenty of that to back up our recommendations today and show you why newsletters are not an outdated PR tool. Really, from the data we've gathered, we see there are 4 reasons why newsletters have a place in your PR toolbox and how to use them. So let's walk through them. The first is that newsletter engagement is strong for nonprofits. Now, this bit of data comes from Nonprofit Tech for Good and Sales So, and this is what we see. Nonprofit emails typically see higher open rates than many other sectors, often around 28 to 40% or more. If you know industry averages, you know that's extremely high, meaning roughly 1 in 3 recipients open these messages. Smaller organizations can even see higher rates, around 46%, because of closer community ties. Makes entire sense. Some analyses report nonprofit open rates ranging as high as 28 to 53%, which is well above, as I said, many industry averages. And click-through engagement is really high for nonprofit emails and newsletters as well, sitting at about 3 to 7%, showing that audiences aren't just opening, but they're interacting and engaging with the content in the email. So breaking it down, what does this data mean? Well, when done right, newsletters are a great way to stay in touch with an engaged community. They highlight your nonprofit's activities, the latest news, research, calls to action, upcoming events, how you want your target stakeholders to interact with your nonprofit or international organization. And the stakeholders that usually receive your newsletter or opt in to receive your newsletter are usually very close to the organization's activities. So that's why they're very engaged with the content that you send. So they're fantastic to engage with a very specific community tailored to your nonprofit or international organization. The second reason why newsletters aren't an outdated PR tool, specifically for nonprofits and international organizations, is that they drive real donor value. And again, let's get back to the research. According to doublethedonation.com, nearly half of donors, about 48%, say regular email communications keep them engaged and inspire repeat donations, outperforming other channels like social media and print. Interesting, very important for nonprofits. According to M&R benchmarks for 2025, reports show that every 1,000 fundraising emails sent results in measurable revenue. So about $58 to $90 in some benchmarks, demonstrating direct impact on financial outcomes. This is specifically for newsletters driving real donor value. So putting in these newsletters from your nonprofit international organization calls to action for people to donate, to get involved and engaged with your organization. So again, what do we see? Tailored and strategic content delivered to your engaged community via a newsletter drives donor value, drives donor relations and engagement. The third reason that newsletters aren't an outdated PR tool is that email newsletters still beat many other channels for trust and attention. Because you're seeing subscribers opt into your newsletter, they represent a warmer and more interested audience in your organization and its affairs. This is compared to most social feeds or paid reach. Email, we know, is also a preferred way for supporters to receive their updates, their news, and it illustrates its really important component in relationship building, not just broadcasting as you may do as an organization on social media. You're really engaging with this community. And what I love about newsletters is that they allow nonprofits and international organizations to tell deeper stories. It's not just bite-sized updates. You can link to longer form articles. You can include a range of different types of content for your target audiences. This is all about aligning authentic storytelling that drives support. The fourth reason that newsletters aren't an outdated PR tool for nonprofits is that nonprofit email metrics compare favorably. This is according to MailerLite.com. Overall email marketing benchmarks across all industries often show open rates in the 30 to 45% range for well-managed newsletters, and nonprofits frequently sit at or above those levels. Well, why is that the case? Because newsletters aren't outdated. They give organizations a rare combination of control, trust, and depth. They are an owned channel, which means the organization owns the content of the newsletter, allowing communicators to reach audiences directly and consistently, and because people actively choose to subscribe. Newsletters operate in a high trust environment and they reward relevance over noise. The thing I love about newsletters too is they also provide space for nuance, for context, for narrative. In a communications landscape that's really dominated by social media videos and sound bites and quick, flashy graphics or videos, newsletters allow you to give more context to your key audiences that you already know have bought into your organization and its messages, and scale your leadership voice to key stakeholders. The other thing is they create a history, a durable history of thought leadership and insight from your organization, meaning that you're building long-term credibility with your audience as opposed to one-off sound bites or pieces of information, for example, delivered via social media. So those are the top 4 reasons that newsletters aren't an outdated PR tool for nonprofits. The conclusion here, don't treat newsletters as relics. They may have been considered a traditional PR approach, but they very much have a place in today's modern PR strategies. They remain one of the most measurable, trusted, and high engagement channels in nonprofit communications, as we've seen by the data. Essentially, you're speaking to an audience that has asked to hear from you, and the data shows that they're still listening. If you haven't considered newsletters as a PR tool or tactic for your organization, maybe this episode has inspired you to give it a go. There are many different ways that you can use newsletters across a range of different goals for your organization. As we've touched on today, the data shows donors get involved. In the case of a nonprofit that reaches out to patients and advocates, you can get them engaged in your work. It can achieve a number of different KPIs for your organization. So if you haven't considered newsletters, maybe this is your inspiration to give it a go and really engage with the community that is engaged with your nonprofit or international organization. It's just one platform in a multi-platform PR approach. Newsletters, they aren't an outdated PR tool. Enough said. That's it for today's episode of maybepod, brought to you every week by international public relations agency Maybe. My name's Katie Clift, CEO and founder of Maybe Agency. You can check us out anytime at our website, maybe.agency. If you ever have a question that you want us to answer on the podcast too, anything public relations, communications, whatever, you can write to us at callme@maybe.agency. Next week is an episode you don't want to miss. We're going to delve into founder or senior-led branding. The idea that an organization's story is strongest when it's told through the founder or their senior leadership. You don't want to miss it. Follow, like, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you next week.